Gordon. Okay, welcome everyone who is here to the executive committee meeting, agenda setting. Today's the 6th and it's 5:32. Can we go ahead and get roll call?
Hey, Ray Regalado.
Here.
Chris Veit.
Here.
Melanie Lebrecq.
Here.
And Vic Christensen. Here. So
All right.
we are all here.
All right, and that takes care of agenda item number 1. Let's move on to 2, general public comment on non-agenda items. Do we have any takers?
I don't
It doesn't appear that we do. Unless...
Me.
Oh, there you are. Yeah, okay. Sorry, Melanie, go ahead.
I think we really need to discuss at this board meeting with our public safety person, our SLO, about how they did a big push for the neighborhood watches to post all of this stuff about fireworks, how they're going to enforce a lot, more in the areas. They're going to have, this big abundance of people out. And this was the worst I have ever seen the fireworks. And they were bad. And the thing that really rubs me the wrong way is that they were notified, they were called. The neighborhood over here, several people were reporting it because people were getting fireworks in their backyards. And they reported no response from LAPD at all from anybody. In fact, during the day over on, now my brain's going, starts with a B, road. One of the neighbors messaged me and said that they sent me a picture of a garage full of fireworks and that the guy was selling them out of his garage all day. And she took pictures where she saw him. Garage full of fireworks. She emailed LAPD, she contacted LAPD, and no one ever came. What is wrong with that? They had a huge investigation. I sent Valoni pictures of the garage, the person that's doing it, and all of that. And it's just like, I'm like dumbfounded at this. Now, Lori said that she got a response. They got a response over they arrested or fined the person in his car and everything over by her apartments during the early evening when they were starting. But I'm like, that's the only one I've heard of was hers. I mean, it's just all of a sudden they just let all hell let loose and go and not enforce anything. Once nightfall came, once dark hit.
Well, then, Melanie, if I can maybe suggest, we ask Valoni to show up or someone in Valoni's place if he's unavailable and talk to us about how they determine or how do they determine who they are going to respond to, or was it some other group that should have responded and just didn't, so that we're better equipped. One of the things that crossed my mind, Melanie, was we should have had our firework response understanding, probably talking about it in June. I'm sorry, in March or April, so that we can have answers.
Yeah, because they were talking at CPAB and talking at and sent emails all around, and the sergeant did, LAP did, Valoni did, and we posted them all in Neighborhood Watch, all the numbers to call, the 311 to post it to, and the email to send it to, and how they were going to responding on time, online immediately, and nothing. People are complaining over here because they got no response, and a lot of people contacted LAPD. We saw not one police car over here at all.
I know this is public comment, and
yeah,
we're not supposed to, but I'm going to say that, we do not have a presentation for our meeting on next week, because the one that we had listed is a starter now since they pulled out Fuller High School. Maybe we can get LAPD to come and do a presentation as to their response to fireworks this year.
That might be a good idea.
Anyone have? Well,
I think,
I mean-
well, considering how much talk there has been over the years about this, I think if we could, and assuming if they're going to send an SLO anyway, if we'd at least give them a heads up that this is something we're going to want to talk about, that might make the time a little bit more effective.
well, I'm up for any suggestions to how you want to.
I think we should
all
contact
want
the captain and say we want to, or a sergeant, that we want a presentation at this board meeting on the 13th. I can contact them and just say we want somebody to come and talk about the lack of response for the fireworks.
Anyone? Any comment?
That sounds reasonable to me. I mean,
Yeah.
for one, couldn't tell you from this year versus last year or 2 years ago that there was any difference at all.
I mean, I agree. We should ask them. I don't know about the response time difference, but the war zone type difference definitely was worse this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you. However, I did have a couple people come and talk to me about firework displays in general. Cabrillo had their big firework display, but others were saying that there were some people who said that they would have preferred a drone display instead to cut back on, I guess, the noise and things. I don't know how people feel about that, but if that's something that, again, we can start the conversation at some given point, perhaps maybe we should do that if that is something that the community wants.
There's attendees have hands up, it looks like, both Lori and Christina.
Okay. All right. Let's go with let's start off with Christina Calandra. Christina?
Hi. Yes, I also wanted to mention Nathan Hockman also said that there was going to be possible drones to help with the issue of fireworks, and I did not notice any drones flying about, but I don't know that drones could fly about because I know where I could see out. Like Vic said, it was a war zone. And one thing that I would advocate is if LA could somehow start increasing the fine so that it's substantial, like a $25,000 fine like they do down in San Diego.
But they have to get them to do the fines. They have to come out and fine them when they're called.
Yeah, and then they have to follow up. I know it's a whole issue, but I feel like LA County, LA City needs to be more strict on the entire thing. Because if other cities in Southern California can enforce it, then LA should learn to start enforcing it.
I heard, and I'm trying to remember who I heard this from. It might have even been from Yolanda, that there in some communities, the community was advised that if they are caught with shooting up fireworks, they can expect a letter to come from the city, and the city will impose a fine on them after the fact, because there just may be too many for the fire department or whoever the follow-up people will do. But that if they have been confirmed by, say, maybe a roving group of public servant people, like maybe volunteers on patrol or fire department contingent, and they document it, then they get hit with a fine after the fact. But some communities were doing that.
I did have luck with that a couple of years ago where I called on my neighbor and the next day a police car showed up with a fine. Actually, not even in the mail. They actually came and ticketed them after the fact because I had documentation.
Oh, that is cool.
But we'd need a task force for that.
Right.
That's it.
Thank you, Christina. Lori, your hand is up.
Yes, hi. I realize this isn't on the agenda, so we shouldn't be discussing this, but this is so old. Every year we have the same discussion and we make no progress. And yes, I was in contact with Melanie and the guy was shooting him off in front of my apartment building. Somebody else called the police. The police actually talked to the guy, but the guy had closed his trunk and was walking away pretending like it wasn't him. And I yelled from my balcony, check that man's trunk, and they opened it up, found all the fireworks. Hope I'm not going to get attacked by this guy. But we're having the same discussion every single year. We see no changes. And having a drone show, while I like that, Ray, because of the animals, that's not going to stop everybody who's shooting off the illegal fireworks. And down by me, the illegal fireworks were almost better than the ones they were shooting off at Cabrillo. The fine is only $1,000. So Christina got it right. Make it 25,000 and publish that you're issuing fines. That's the only deterrent I could think of. And what's crazy at a time when people are hurting so badly economically, how are they affording fireworks? But don't you guys get tired of having the same conversation and not making any progress?
Yep.
So that's but a larger fine, $1,000 obviously doesn't do anything.
Anything else, anyone? Well, I would like to suggest that a committee take the issue up and start working on this, on the various options.
Public safety.
Public safety, then we will make sure that it is discussed at our next meeting, and then public safety, you'll be looked upon to bring us back some I guess a plan of action, but also perhaps maybe just to make sure that people keep this on the front burners, a kind of a progress report on where we're going with this or how the committee is going with this issue. So we'll put that on the agenda for discussion. Under Public Safety Committee?
Yeah, so we don't have a meeting for this board meeting. It won't be until next board meeting. So do you want me to just put something together? I can do that.
Well, yeah, you can, and yeah, just put something together.
Yeah.
But we have time to put a good plan in place. But let's start the ball rolling.
Okay.
All right. Any other items for general public comment? I see no hands. So we'll close out item number 2 and move on to item number 3, approved letter for LA Regional Water Board regarding ongoing environmental remediation at Phillips 66. It doesn't look like Ben's here, but it looks like this is something that Ben wants to do. Does anybody know anything about this?
Yeah, I'm also representing this as well.
Okay.
This is
All right.
Christina.
Okay, Christina, you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yes. So the reason why this is urgent is because there is a requirement for follow-up on or before July 24th. Basically, it's the same issue. It sounds like we have over and over and over again, is that when there's a new project, they don't provide enough time for neighborhood councils to work with our community and with official offices, typically giving only 30 days. there was a meeting for the Regional Los Angeles Regional Water Board in regards to the Wilmington refinery and Phillips 66. And we're asking for an extension of 90 days rather than 30 days so that we can basically also ask for not only the 90 days, but to include soil testing so that the community has more information and is more well informed. And then Ben had spoken to somebody also at this meeting, and she had suggested that we ask for two soil, I guess they call it split soil samples. That's two separate parties. So that is the other ask in this letter. But basically, so that the community is more informed as to what's going on, because it really affects our air quality and also water tables. So that was the ask on that one.
So will a letter be presented at this coming meeting if we put it on the agenda, or is this a discussion to approve?
This is the letter that we're asking to approve.
Do you see the letter on the screen, right?
I'm having a little problem here. Hang on just one second.
Oh, do you want me to read it? Sorry. I thought everybody could see it.
Oh, no, I have it now. I have it now.
Okay.
I don't know why I was a problem right now. Then, so this is what you want to present, and that's perfectly fine. You, who will be presenting this? Whose name should we put next to the agenda item? Will it be you or Ben or both?
Let's put both.
Yeah, I was going to do both.
Ray, we have to vote on it here because they have not established their committee as far as having been voted as an actual committee yet.
But
I
it
understand
still
that was gonna be-
calendar.
But it will still go to the board. We just have to
Right.
bring it out of committee here first.
Right, yeah, and that's the next step I was going to take. I just wanted to make sure that we had all the pieces on this thing. So-
Christina, also, you guys have to submit to this consent calendar for you and Ben for your committee to make sure that that's submitted so that it's on the consent calendar.
I have that. I've got that.
But know that if you guys are the only two, you're the only two that can vote. People can't show up as guests and vote. You guys have to appoint other people, and it has to be voted on by the board if they're going to be part of your committee.
Yes, and we're so Ben and I are co-chairs,
Right.
and then I'm sorry.
You have to, if there's anybody else, you have to submit their names too.
Yes, so that was
Or they can't
another
vote.
that was another question because the three people aside from Ben and I.
Let's get to the, let's finish up with the letter first.
Okay.
Because that is what's on the agenda. The other is really not.
Okay.
So so we're going to go ahead and just approve the placement of the letter onto the agenda.
No, this.
Any objection from anyone?
Well, this is first. We are voting on this as far as coming out of this committee, which is separate from putting it on the agenda for the board meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
because they didn't have a legit committee yet, so it has to come out of here.
Right. And because of the time sensitivity. We
Well,
can't
maybe
wait until we can't wait to approve the committee membership at the meeting and then do this through the committee later. We have to do it through this committee now because of the deadline of July 24th.
Well, that's what I meant when I said if we go ahead and just do it. So let's word it any way you want, but let's go ahead and approve the letter by taking a vote.
Okay. There was a hand up, but I don't see one now, and it could have been something that I was talking about already, but I don't know.
Do we need to move in second, Rick?
Yep.
Vic?
Yep,
I'll
Yes,
move it.
yes.
Second,
Okay,
that was Chris.
yeah.
that was Chris.
Okay, take the vote. Vic Christensen, aye. Melanie Lebrecq,
Aye.
Ray Regalado,
Yes.
Chris Valle.
Yes.
Okay, that one passes. So that one is approved for out of committee here. And then, well, I guess we can, technically that's already listed as one of my things on item number 6, but I think that's kind of a given that if we approved it here, it goes, we can send it to the board. Now we do have a hand up.
Okay, I see Lori's hand up.
I'm
Lori?
not sure it's the right time, but somehow on our website, I'm listed as being on this committee, and I'm not on this committee because I travel too much and I don't want to mess up their quorum. I'll attend meetings when I can, but I need to not be on this committee. So if you have a consent calendar that you need to do to remove me, please do so.
Wait, when you say this committee, you mean the environment sustainability? Okay.
Yeah. I did let Christina know that and Ben that I'd like to help them, but because of my travel, I don't want to mess up quorum.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So we'll show this on the consent.
Yeah, and also the approving Ben and Christina and whoever else they're going to have on their committee. Christina, is there anybody else besides you guys that is going to be on the committee?
Gwen had mentioned that she wanted to be on the committee, but she didn't attend. April also mentioned she wanted to be on the committee. However, I think she left for Portugal, so she wasn't able to attend. So I guess if we are able to, I'm not sure what the process is because we do need to get more committee members, I suppose.
Well, let's go with April. April, have you had any conversation with April, or is she still out of the area?
She's out of the country right now.
Okay. Would you try to communicate with her to make sure that she's on so that we can at least get her name?
What about Angela? She had stated something about driving.
Well, let's just make sure that we make sure about April. Would you be able to try to communicate with April either by, is she doing emails or anything like that while she's out?
I'll email her and see if she gets back to me.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah,
And
Angela mentioned that was a committee she was joining when she left Outreach.
and you said Angela, Melanie, also?
Angela Sumner, yeah. Supposedly, I don't know if she's changed her mind, but she hasn't joined a committee yet now that she left Outreach. So that's part of her requirement as a board
Christina,
member.
would you be willing to check in with Angela?
Yeah, and I can also check in with May because I don't know if she's joined a committee.
Yeah, she's on
Okay.
Outreach.
Okay.
Okay. I see a couple hands up. So, Lori, I think I saw your hand up first, and then Adrian, you're
Okay.
next.
So I just want to say, if they only currently have 2 members, if you leave me on the committee for now, when they meet next month, then they'd have a quorum if those 2 were there, if I couldn't be there. Is that correct? Because they would need 2 people.
That is correct, but they meet the minimum requirements of having 2 board members. So
Yeah.
Okay,
nobody else has to be
been
on
told-
there.
I've been
There's
told
nothing in
3
our bylaws or
already.
standing rules that says there needs to be any more than just those 2.
Right, but I thought they have to have more than 2 to be. No.
No, the only requirement is that when you look at the bylaws and the standing rules, the only thing that talks about numbers is there must be at least 2 board members.
Okay, because I was going to say you could leave me on there for another month until they get somebody official if it's going to
No, I won't.
But you're saying it's not necessary. Okay,
Yeah,
just trying to help.
It won't cause a problem.
Okay,
That's
thank
what
you.
Lori, that's what I was telling Vic. And then we got to looking at the bylaws and the standing rules. And that's been the thing for 10 years that I've been told with committee, even when I first started, is you had to have 3 people on the committee and 2 of them had to be board
That's
members.
what I was told too.
But
So
nobody
yeah,
has ever written that up in the standing rules, and that probably needs to be changed because I think 3 is what there should be for a committee.
okay, that's a whole other issue. But thank you.
Right. Yeah, that's another issue.
Adrian has his hand up. Adrian, you have comment?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. I was giving a suggestion if you're adding people to committees to wait maybe till August, because in August, per I think it's standing rules, that's when you have to do committee appointments as well. So come August, you'll be able to, put people on committees as they please. I just want to make that comment.
Well, we can put people on committees anytime we want, but typically, or I should say, not typically, but I should say lately, we've been doing the full committee liaison appointment list during the retreat. So if you have a point, if we do that, then we can just wait until then to get the lists in mass. But I still think we should put at least the 2 people on Christina and Ben now, even if we put nobody else, just so we have a working committee, so to speak.
Correct. Yes. I mean, it'll still be quorum. And I think it's good to establish this here now, but I was just giving that suggestion. And yes, I was giving a recommendation. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Adrian, can we lower Adrian's hand? All right. I see no other hands up, so we're going to go ahead and close out this item. All right. So let's move on to item number 4, to approve a community impact statement supporting Councilman Tim McCosker's motion regarding LA City Council File 18-0651-S3, which is also the exact same thing that we have under item F in agenda item number 6. So
one is to approve it out of committee here. The other is to put it on the agenda for the board.
Okay.
So they are the same topic, but they are different actual agenda items.
Okay. So right now, we are voting to put it on the agenda, right? On number 4.
No, we are voting to approve it out of committee.
Okay.
And Lori's the point of contact for that, but I believe it got approved out of the council committee already, but we don't know exactly when it's going to go to the full council. And I'll let her go into that, but I have the motion from Tim McCosker on the screen now, and whenever somebody wants me to, I can put the proposed CIS up so you can read that too. So I guess technically, since we should make a motion before we discuss, then I will make the motion to approve I'm going to switch it right now, the proposed CIS in this committee now. So I'll do the first.
I'll move it.
I just said I would move it.
Oh, I'll second it then.
And now we go to discussion.
Yep.
So Lori, are you still there?
I'm still here. Can't get rid of me that easily. So, yeah, I appreciate you looking at this motion. Just to let you know, to check on time sensitivity. I've been tracking it with Tim's legislative analyst. And yes, it was passed out of the Homeless and Housing Committee. They're currently on recess, but it should be on the agenda the first week they get back, which is the first week of August. So it would be great if the CIS is already filed when they go to vote on this. And I've also sent this to the other San Pedro neighborhood councils. So if anybody has any questions, it's pretty self-explanatory. We've had this shelter, the Bridge Home, for several years. The lease is up at the end of December. It's on Caltrans property, and Caltrans is open to them continuing the lease. It's already had some kind of report sent to the committee at City Council. And also they want to continue the lease with Harbor Interfaith. And if this shelter closes, they have 100 beds of possibility of that many people being put out on the streets.
Any other comments? I don't see any hands up. Okay. We'll close discussion and go ahead and put it to a vote.
This is voting on whether to approve it out of this committee
Yes.
at this point. So
Yes.
Vic Christensen, aye. Melanie Lebrecq,
Aye.
Ray Regalado,
Yes.
Chris Vai.
Yes, both muted.
Thank you.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Okay, closing on agenda number 4, moving to, well,
Number 6, because 5 is OBE now.
right, just to put it on the record that we're removing it.
Got it.
So,
Well,
Number
yeah,
5
I guess just to be a little more specific on the record, number 5 is now OBE because Polis High School withdrew their proposal for the former courthouse property.
right. Okay, so moving on to agenda number 6. And this is a discussion of the addition of the agenda item for the July board. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items, and we're not considering item G because of what was
No
stated
prison.
For the same reason.
Right. So, any discussion? Anyone?
Lori has her hand up.
Am I still unmuted?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just wondering why this is listed, my motions listed here. I would like on the board agenda, if we could put the motion under the homelessness liaison spot, and I'm including it in my report too.
You can't, because it has to be moved by a board member to be able to have it voted on by the board.
You
You
just
can't move it.
approved it to go to
No.
the,
But it has to be moved in
At the
On-
board.
by a board member at the board meeting.
okay, but I still could discuss it when
You
it
can
comes up.
discuss it, yeah.
But
So-
I think the point is to, instead of putting it under the executive committee motion area, to put it under the homelessness liaison area.
Correct. That's
And
what I was asking.
we could still have a board member make the motion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not required to be under the regular motion area to make a motion, as we have that little caveat that says, or disclaimer that says, any like right here, any item on this agenda could result in
Mm.
motions and/or actions. So we could
just
still
makes
move
more-
it. We
it
could
makes
still
more
put it in a different
sense.
location.
Yeah, it just makes more sense to me to
Yeah.
put it under the homelessness liaison report if
That's
that's
fine with
agreeable.
me if you're okay, Ray.
No, that's absolutely fine. I just so that we know, is there anyone in particular that will make the motion from the board, or will someone from the executive committee make the motion?
I can move it when it comes up for Lori.
Yeah, I
Just
can too,
because-
whatever.
Okay.
So either
okay.
Vic or I can move it.
Does it have to be somebody from your committee who moves it? or any board member?
No, it can be anybody.
Oh, okay, just curious.
So why don't we, because since Melanie spoke up first, why don't we put Melanie's name on there to move it?
Again, thank
All
you.
right.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else
Um,
to
I just want to
discuss?
comment for knowledge here.
Well-
City Council made a motion, and this came up at Budget and Finance, that they're allowing for this year for us to anything that's left over to roll over. So we have almost $10,300 left, and we're going to be able to roll over the whole thing.
But
So that'll come up at the board meeting when I do the MER, but I think that's great. I was worried that we'd have to lose some money, and we won't.
Okay.
have we kind of officially approved all of these things already, or are we still?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, normally Ray goes down one at a time. We didn't do that this time, so I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I was just trying to save a little time here.
Okay. Then the additions to this would be the appointment of Christina and Ben as co-chairs and members of the Environment and Sustainability Committee. Since this is the first time we've actually approved anybody, on this committee for since the resurrection, I don't know that we actually have to add something about removing anybody. If it is listed on the website with other people, that will get fixed once we filter through the approved list to Cheryl to update the website. So I think at this point, we just say we were approving those two people, and then we'll update the website based on that. Unless we have a list of more people that we can add between now and then, but at the minimum, we at least have two.
Right.
And then the other item would be I'm not sure where you want to put this, Melanie, under public safety reports, the illegal fireworks discussion.
Yeah, just public safety reports.
Okay. So those would be the two additions besides what is listed here that I caught during this meeting to add.
Could I throw up?
I don't know. Could you?
I paused purposely.
Yeah, okay.
So,
And we do have a hand up for when you're ready.
okay. Planning and land use has been doing some work in discussing different community projects. Vincent Thomas Bridge, Gibson parking lot, Phillips 66. Wow. Fred Brown. So I'm wondering if maybe we could, I'll double check with Kane if we can maybe possibly get a update on these projects as they appear from the planning and land use. I'll check with him to see if that's okay. Any problem with that, anyone?
As long as they came out of legal meetings.
They haven't been posting their agendas. Kane's missed like the last couple of times doing his agendas and didn't get them out.
I understand that. But I just want to reinforce the fact that he has had there has been some conversation about this, and I'm trying to look for ways so that we reinforce that we need to be, I'm talking about we in general need to be doing our meetings. Now, this was going to be something on another item that I wanted to discuss, and that is a retreat item or a retreat. Should we have a discussion on retreats? But man, we are really dropping the ball on committee meetings.
Big time.
Well, as far as the retreat discussion, I was thinking about, do we want to put that on the agenda too? But technically we should wait until we know the results of the officer selection.
That's right. But I just want to make sure that there is concurrence that a retreat is something that we will plan for so that we can start kind of thinking about it. So I agree completely with what you're saying, that but I just want to make sure that it's there, that we're going to be able to do it, or we have the wherewithal and the desire to do it, because we really need to talk about our group dynamics and responsibilities as neighborhood council. So this is something that we can talk about during that whole time, during our retreat.
Do you want to put anything on this board agenda under executive committee reports, just like retreat discussion or something like that, or do you want to wait?
No, I would like people to start thinking about it. So can we put it on the agenda so that we can start getting people to think about it? Anyone? Any objection?
No.
Any
No objection.
any thoughts?
That's fine with me.
It just, we need to start having people though getting their agendas posted and, getting, they're having their committee meetings and everything. And
Well, I mean, yeah, we can talk about it during our board meetings, and we have mentioned it and reminded it, but I think we need to be a bit more thoughtful and strategic about doing it. And I think this is the proper place, is doing our retreat and get buy-in from
yeah,
committee
Laura
members
has her hand up.
and committee. Yeah, I just want to make sure that our board we're thinking, we're okay with it, thinking along the
Yeah.
same line.
Oh yeah.
Chris, you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back and talk to Lori about her hand.
Hi there, thank you. Just a couple of things. One, I didn't see it, but I'm assuming you're gonna, oh, you have election of officers. Okay. As far as planning and land use, Kane and several of us have been attending the joint meetings. Is there any reason that he couldn't give a verbal report on the items that were discussed at the joint meeting, whether anybody feels that Northwest was legal or not? They were in attendance, and I think they could share information on the items that you were talking about, Ray. And
That's something that I want to talk to Kane about. That's something we can actually cover during. So I appreciate that. Yes.
And the other thing is, maybe before the board meeting, you could research some potential dates for the retreat. So, and at the board meeting, maybe you can have people prepared to vote on whether they're available, so that you can get that nailed down, because I know it takes some work to get that booked.
Yeah, I've already kind of started looking at that,
and remember, don't do that between August 11th and August 18th.
I'm hoping that we can do it in September, because it's going to take some work to put 17 books together. And if I'm doing it solo and Cheryl's going to have to print all of that, we're going to need time.
You're making 17 books?
17, because there's a lot of new information and a lot of people lost their book and etc. So
well, nobody uses them.
Well, do we need to discuss this now?
Yeah.
You already voted on printing all this stuff in a new book?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. I disagree with that, but I'm not a board member.
So anything else, anyone? Let me throw out also, I see Christina's still with us. Christina, you've had some conversations with Target, and one of those, do you think maybe you can talk a little bit about that at our next meeting as part of your sustainability report?
Oh yeah, I thought Target was community issues or public safety.
That's right, yeah. But also with that water and stuff, that also kind of creates a.
It falls under several different areas.
Yes, yeah, but you've been very, you had a great meeting with them.
So we can put it under public safety, and Christina can just speak on it.
Okay.
All right. Let me
And
see.
I assume we don't need to put a specific item just for that. We just assume that it will be discussed.
Just
Yeah,
write
that-
target report or something.
Say
then-
that. Say what? What was that again?
Well, assuming it's going to be discussed under a committee report, and it looks like it's going to be public safety at this point, but yeah, it could be community issues too. I assume there's no need to specifically call out a target discussion because it's all part of the report.
It's all part of the report. Yeah. No, this isn't specific target issue.
Okay.
But like I said, I think it's worth mentioning about the meeting that Christina had with them and others. Let me see. I think that's all I got. Anyone else have anything else we need to think about, talk about?
I'm gonna, while other people are deciding, I'm gonna check on something real quick, and I may have something, but I don't know for sure yet.
All right. Check away. I'm seeing no other hands, so we'll just wait till Victor checks and throws up his hand.
Okay, nothing more. We
Okay.
already covered the things that I might have had to ask about.
Okay. So I'm going to take it that we've completed our meeting, all the agenda items. And without objection, we will adjourn until our next meeting, which is Monday, August 3rd, 5:30
Okay.
online. All righty, everybody?
All right.
Adjourned at 6:18 p.m.
Yes. And you can turn off the recording. And as you close off the recording, I will say, Go USA.